I am saying something right now. This is a normal volume
Oh,
while I
well,
talk.
all right. Looks like mine could go up a little bit. All right.
We heard a bit of mic testing, then it stopped.
Test, test, test. Yeah. All right. And there. And there we are. Okay. I gotta figure out a better way to do the camera. I don't like the way it works. But we are live. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being patient and hanging out. We're talking about internal stuff over here. Just chatting away.
Yeah.
So Chris will be joining us momentarily. So we'll see how that goes when he does.
We were doing a behind the scenes mic check, so I'll mention my name, Keith Quinn. I'm Sannio on the forums, level design quest guy. And how's my mic sound, everyone? Sound good? We'll wait for that feedback, and you can back to you, Ravalox.
Yep, and I am Ravalox. I am also known as Steven, and I am acting as community manager as well as a dev of all trades.
Both sound good, they say.
There we go. Good.
Thanks, everyone.
Excellent. So, first time got the audio right on the first try. Awesome. All right. So, as I said, Chris will be joining us in a little bit. So he got tied up with some other stuff, and he'll be coming in. So I will cover a few items that I have before he gets here. He's gonna, when Chris comes on, one of the main things we're gonna talk about is the efforts to update the game to Unity 2021. So we'll go into more detail about that when he gets here. And wanted to cover a few things. This is going to be a standard for me for a while, guys. So as you all know, we've added a logout feedback to the game. So as you exit the game, it prompts you for feedback and to rate the game 1 to 5 stars, that type of thing. And we do appreciate your feedback. However, you're not required to put it in. So keep that in mind. We have updates to that interface, so that way it will show, it'll say it's optional, and kind of reinforce that aspect that you could just go ahead and hit log out. If you've given feedback in the past, you don't have to do it every time. We've also added links on that screen to the bug forums and as well as Discord, so that way newer players will be given, a way to get the newer players to know that like we have a Discord server. If they haven't figured that out on their own already, that way they can click that link and join Discord and get involved with the hospitalers, talk to other players, things along those lines. The idea of the logout feedback, of course, is so that way we can find out what's going on, mainly with the new players who are joining the game, and see what their reactions are, if there's any issues or confusion, or if they really like the way that the game is, and all those neat things. For veteran players, please keep in mind that you guys have multiple avenues. Brand new players aren't going to know about Ask a Dev or the bug reporting and wish list items, things like that. So please try to hold back on using the logout feedback for those types of things. Ask a Dev is going to be for things that should be discussed on stream, questions that you have that would, topics that we could use on stream, and answer those questions and have conversations about those types of things. Mainly a lot of min-maxing type of stuff would be an Ask a Dev, verifying how crits are supposed to work, or if things are balanced correctly, that type of deal. Then the wish list, of course, are for things that are not in the game yet at all, or there's an item that you saw in a scene that should be deco, or maybe there's something that you think it should work differently. That it's not a bug that way, but it's a wish list that you would want something changed in the way something functions within the game. Then you have bugs, of course, and the bug forums are dedicated. We don't have anybody putting any other commentary in the bug forums. They're specifically there to enter the bugs, get them into the system. Our bug moderators will ask questions, get more details, so that way we could better isolate it and verify that those things are actually occurring and that they are bugs. So that way they get into the system so that the devs can actually work on those items. So as I said, on the logout, just keep in mind that it is optional, and there's no need to check in and say hi every time you log out of the game. So we are reading those things, and it drives Winston crazy when there's extra stuff in there that does not need to be in the data acquisition. So let's see, what else do we have? I have oh, here's
What about
something.
the phrase that pays?
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. The phrase that pays, it's let me see.
Into the free stuff.
Boats and Blossoms. So we will have at least 2 drawings today. If we have sorry, there's something going on outside. I think somebody's moving in across the street. A lot of noise going on. If we have a hype train going on for each hype train level completed, that will do an extra drawing. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, we'll have a random drawing for some prizes that you would be awarded in the game. And all you have to do is be in the game and say Boats and Blossoms somewhere in one of the chats, universal, local, zone chat, that type of thing. So, okay, next item on my news sheet here. We have an amnesty period coming up for July. There are some players who have character names that are in violation of the TOS. Some of them are pretty obvious that they're not names that should not really be remaining, and the terms of service indicates what those names, what those types of names would be. So if you have any questions about that, you can check out the TOS. Basically, what we're going to do is normally we'll change if somebody has a name that's unacceptable, we'll go ahead and force a name change, and then if the player is unhappy with the random name that we give them, then they'd have to go to support and get a name change voucher and get that name changed. So we're going to do an amnesty for the period of release 103, so the entire month of July, that if you think that your name may be in violation of the TOS, this is your chance to get a free name change. Now, I stress that if your name is not in violation of TOS, you won't qualify for this. But if you think that there's a possibility that your name may be in violation, then reach out to support and let them know, and let them know what name you want to change your name to. If names are not changed, if names that are in violation are not changed by the end of July, then over the course of the next few months, we'll be going through and sweeping the database and invoking a name change that will be the names will be coming from a Fey generator. So you may not appreciate the random names that we come up with. So just keep that in mind. Let's see here now. Titles. Names that would be in violation of TOS, of course, are obviously names that are NSFW, not safe for work type of things. Yeah, NSFW. And also, there's an ongoing policy that titles like Lord, Lady, etc., so on, those types of things. If your name has a Lord in the name, then you are probably at risk of having your name force changed. So you might want to reach out to support and take advantage of the amnesty program that we have for this for the month of July. So that's that. And let's see what else we got here. Okay. Okay, and as usual, also I should say, the Bug Brigade is around. We have a few moderators in the forums that help take care of the bug forums, keep them clean, and process those bugs, as I said earlier. So if you have questions about something that's happening in the game, you could post it up in the bug forum. If it's something that is not like, if there's something that you think something should do and it's not in the game that way, it's obviously it's not a function of whatever that is, then that would go to the wish list. So basically a bug is something it's operating but it's broken, especially something that was working before and it's broken, is definitely a bug. If there's something that doesn't have a functionality yet but that you're looking for this new functionality, then that goes into the wish list items. So okay, let's see. Okay, so what have you got anything going on, Sannio?
Nothing really to share. And in general, I am working on the next scene that'll be out in a couple of months. It's a shoreline scene. It'll be like a small village, definitely not like a big city like Grusk. Probably not even as big as the Tanglemire village. It'll be a small village to one section with these Viking-style raiders, and you can interact with them, get a quest or two, and then wilderness, which will probably include at least saber-toothed tigers somewhere, probably a puzzle or two in the back area, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Cool, awesome. Speaking of that type of stuff, you said, makes me think, of course, of the Grusk Factory, and there's some good quests in there.
Yeah, that was the big one I just put out.
Yeah, and there's a player, Owsley, has a quest in Harvest. On his property, it's called Moonball. If you go to the dungeon on that property, there's a mystery to be solved in there. I'm actually in the middle of the quest.
So there's a player quest.
Yes, it's a player quest, and I'm actually in there right now. I'm not. Usually, I'll walk around and things, or try to walk around while we're talking, but I don't want to reveal what's going on in his dungeon. It's definitely something to check out. His wife is in the entryway of the dungeon to greet you and tell you something about what's going on and basically give you the quest. So. I'm intrigued about the way he set this up. It's actually pretty good storytelling. So, now also I saw, actually I think it was Owsley who actually asked a question. For the last couple of months, I've been working on a lot of more operations related things, trying to fix up some servers, upgrade some things internally, and of course when Chris gets here, he'll go into more details about the Release 2021 work that we've been doing. So I'm trying to avoid giving details out on that until Chris gets here. But we're wrapping up a lot of that stuff and going to get back more to the player dungeon stuff. So what Owsley was asking in there before was if there was any update on the spider room. So this is going to be one of the next things I have to tackle after I get through what I'm doing right now. This is a content release. So Grusk Factory is going to be going into R103, and it's really good. I mean, the aspect here is that more time has been taken to work on the scenes, so it's not just never really were rushed, but this way there was definitely more time to put detail in and have second set of eyes and things along those lines. The QA server hasn't truly been available over this last month because of the work on 2021. Over the last couple of days, we finally got that thing revved back onto 2018, which is what our builds are on now. And over this weekend, actually later on today, I'll be releasing the patch for, in fact, I probably should be able to do that now, but we'll be releasing the patch for QA so people can get on the QA server and start doing testing for things that are getting ready to go live on R103, including the Grusk Factory will be available to players at that point. There are some other things that we have on there as well. I just got it working last night. There's going to be options for the hairstyles that have hair bands. As I think that's an ongoing thing that people know about, where the hair bands on like the ponytail and the double ponytail, the dreads hair, and there was one more, the bun. They're all red, and this was they're basically hard coded as red. So adding some alternate variations on that into the character creation and new use store, so you'll be able to go in and change the color of the band to black, brown, or gray. Some more muted things. This is phase 1. We will be doing we'll be changing it down the road, so that way you'll be able to go in and you select the hairstyle. Then if it's one that has the hair bands, you'll have the ability to change the color of the hairband based on the same palette as the hair colors themselves. So this way you guys could actually accessorize properly. Okay, and so there's a bunch of extra stuff from that, and of course next week is the release week. So I'm kind of caught in this place here where I want to talk about stuff, but I really don't want to talk about too much of it until we actually have the actual release stream. And as Chris stated, he's going to be away for that that stream, so that's why he's going to come on the stream today to talk about stuff that's coming up and what we've been up to and all that, the usual thing. So we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in July. Obviously, July is Lord British's birthday, so we're going to have things going on there. I will definitely say that we are looking for players who want to put on some events, player-driven events. The devs can help sponsor those types of things and supply some stuff for the events, like prizes and things along those lines for that. So reach out. You could reach out to me on the forums, PM me, or send a note over to support, and that'll get forwarded over to me as well. So we'll talk about that. I know we have at least 2 players out there who are putting together some events, and of course the devs are going to be doing events during July as well. It's obviously all around Lord British's birthday. We will have a larger stream, our usual hour to hour and a half stream. We're going to have a larger stream on the 15th of July with Lord British as guesting on the stream as well. And during that stream, we'll have in-game events as well as on-stream events, as most of you may remember from past if you've been around. There's ceremonies that happen, so I think there's going to be a ceremony this July as well, and then maybe there'll be some actual opportunities to play in game with Lord British. So, all right, I've stretched as much as I can. You guys have any questions in the chat? Yeah, Lilybird's quests are really great. I see Vulcan Jedi says that as soon as he finishes Lilybird's, he's going to go try Owlsley's out. So, let's see.
I forgot that Grusk Factory was actually not in the live build, not on the live server.
I thought it was.
I thought it was too, but you just said it was going out.
Oh well, it's going out like with the public access on QA, right? So, like, in other words, right now, I believe that people could get to Grusk Factory if somebody else had been there during, like, one of the things. Yeah. So on QA, we're dropping the restriction, and you're putting the door in, right? You're putting in the
Yeah,
entrance.
I put it in a
Yeah.
while ago. That's why it's always weird with this sort of timing that you do a bunch of things and then you
Yeah.
let it sit and then it gets tested for a while. And I'm working on something else, and I never keep track of like where the stuff I've done with actually stands. Well, is it live? Has it been on QA? I lost track.
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. There we go. All right. Well, thanks, Bry One.
Have people been playing Grust Factory in the chat? Chat, have you been playing Grust Factory? I know I brought a handful of you there. Rich Troll's asking about do we know new skills are coming? I think the engineer skills that we had talked about, I think those are put on hold for now.
Yeah.
But we didn't throw them away or anything. We just they're on hold.
Right. Right. I think that that's if anything, it'll be tied into more of the episode 2 stuff. So we want to flesh that out and get that going.
Yeah, I remember I sort of somehow get volunteered. I guess I had mentioned something about technical type skills to Chris like a long time ago, and then he kind of assumed that I was going to sort of come up with a plan. So there was like a break in communication right there. And eventually I sort of gave him like a write up, and he also had some of his own ideas, and he was going to sort of shuffle them together.
Right.
Then he got distracted with other things. And, but like I said, still on the table.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. And so
Firebrand Toluck does not know what it is. Does not know what the Grusk Factory is, maybe. So we have a ton of like adventuring scenes and NPC towns in the world and dungeons. And in the episode 2 area, so when you start in the episode 1 area, that's the main continent is called Novia, and there's like a secondary continent called Hidden Vale. So the episode 2 area has a continent called Mistrender, basically 3 main islands. And in the center, to the right of the center of the middle island, which is the first island you get to, there's a town with populated by kobolds, which normally are bad guys, but in this town, they're pretty cool with you. And they have a lot of automatons. That's like their main resource. The main export is automatons, clockwork people. And so that town has been out for a couple of months. There's also some adventuring you can do around the town itself, outside the town walls. And what is coming in, I almost said recently came in, but what's coming in is Grust Factory. So there's a factories neighborhood section of that town with a lot of rough and tumble kobolds who don't want you entering that area, so they'll fight you. But if you can get past them, you get to this doorway in this sort of like entry tunnels. You can pass into the main Grusk Factory scene. And Grust Factory, it's kind of like a dungeon. It is essentially linear, and it's got several main sections, some elevators, some switches you can flip, so a couple of wave battles, some secret areas, a couple little benefits for players. If there's more than one person, like if you're going by yourself, that's fine. You're not going to miss out on anything. If you're going with a friend or 3, then potentially you might get a little extra perk because you're with your pals. And of course, there's rewards. There's no ultimate awesome reward in a material sense. Like there's no sweet piece of armor or whatever. But I'll give you a little spoiler secret. So close your ears if you don't want to hear it. Give me 15 seconds. There's a reward blessing at the end if you finish the wave battle. There you go.
There you go. So for those of you who are at the starting line revving your engines, the QA patch has just been published. So go ahead and start downloading. You'll be able to get in there.
There is also a quest that will send you into... let me back up. There is a character who's been in the factories area called the Taskmaster. If you want to talk to him, he will give you a quest to go inside the Grust Factory scene, the dungeon, and will it's not a repeatable quest. It's a one-time only quest, but it's a little story thing that sort of encourages you to go in there and interact with some things. Allium Oops says, confirm the door from Grusk works in 1339. So there you go.
Awesome.
So you should be able to get there. And any and all feedback is welcome. It is also it's a tier 8+ scene. So the Grusk surrounding areas are essentially tier 8. Once in a while, you sort of like find like a one-off guy who's like higher than tier 8. In Grusk Factory, it starts off as tier 8. And then partway through, it gets a little muddy. You start seeing a few tier 10 guys coming in, and then at the end, it's a tier 10 area. So I do something what I like to kind of do, which is the early or the main path stuff is lighter, but the more you push in, the harder it gets. Shotglass says he doesn't talk to me. You trying to talk to the Taskmaster? He's just a dude in the. He's got like his own little office. He's just sort of wandering around. He doesn't fight anyone. He's a friendly faction to players. You should just be able to talk to him like anyone else. You should say hello or whatever. Steven, if you want to jump off there, go check that. Are you in the QA server?
Yep. No, actually, I'm on live. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, we can go there anyway. So go into the factory section. Are you in God mode, I hope?
Yes, I am.
All right. So I lost track of where you are.
Going up the hill.
Yeah, go towards the smokestacks.
Right.
So for those who don't know where the little factory's neighborhood is, you can see the smokestack up that Steven's looking at. This is in the south. I forget my directions of Grusk. Southwest? Is that where you're going?
Yeah. Yes.
So southwest section of the Grusk town itself. So go up in there. Yep. So there's 2 stairs that go up. You're in the sort of the northern stair. That's fine. So stay to the right. Just keep staying to the right. Go inside that big bunker train entry
loading
area.
Dock. Yeah.
Yeah, loading dock. And then go to the right. Go inside one of those doors. Either one. The doorways. I mean, the small doorways. To the east.
Yep, I'm there.
And go left. Yeah, follow the rugs. Follow the rugs.
Right.
And go straight into that office.
And there's the Taskmaster.
That's the Taskmaster. So check to make sure you can talk to him.
All right.
I think you should still be able to talk to him, even though this is live and the Grusk Factory's not there.
I'm being attacked, so I think that's why it's.
Oh yeah. I did see the chat window pop up, so he's probably fine.
Yeah.
So Shotglass might have Shotglass 71 may be having a individual issue,
right.
Unique to him.
Well, also if he's doing this on live, then that could be the issue there, because it's at least 3 weeks behind.
Yeah, on the live server, he's not going to give you the quest. He's not going to send you into the factory. You can't get into the factory.
Right. So let me. I see a few questions here. I'm going to jump in and talk about. So the second novel. So for those of you who are new and just wandered in, basically there's a book. Was it the Sword of Midras? It went through a rename at one point. I keep on thinking about the original name.
Yeah,
it's the
original name.
Yeah, the first book was Sword of Midras, and that's been out for quite some time now. And there is a second book that's coming out called The Eye of Scales, and that will be released on July 26th. It is available on Amazon for pre-order, and I'm sure that you could probably pre-order it in other locations as well, Barnes & Noble, so on and so forth. I believe that they're on sale. There's a discount of some kind for the ebook version of it. I'm not too familiar. I don't have I don't do Kindles or anything, so I don't have that. I need to talk to. Again, I've actually worked on the book. I was a bit of an editor for it and proofreading and stuff. I'm in communication with the publisher. I need to talk to them about the Audible, because there is supposed to be an Audible version of the book as well. And I got to find out from them what's going on with that, what the timing is. Let's see, there was another one. There was another question back here. I just got to find it. The movable homes. So that's something that Chris has been working on, and I believe that he's going to be putting some attention to that probably after July. During July, and of course, when assuming he makes it onto the stream, he's going to be going to Cinecon. I guess where is that? Is it technically in Pennsylvania or Tennessee, somewhere over that way?
I don't know.
And he's going to be going there towards the end of July. So after July is over, then he'll be back at the office and doing stuff. But he'll be on the road, I believe, for the last 2 weeks of July. Okay. Yep, there you go for that. The book is available on July 26th. Okay. Alright, good. Alright, so we'll call it there. Let's go. Getting attacked by the dogs too much. So is there these tracks here, are there a people mover that comes up in this way?
No. I didn't want anybody to automatically be sucked into this dangerous area. Sorry, I'm a liar.
Yep.
It doesn't go all the way in the back. It goes around the front area.
Yeah, it goes around this way. Okay.
So it doesn't go into those tunnels that we see.
Right.
And when as you go forward, you'll see like this sort of like raised area with the tracks go up in there, but you don't go up in there either. It's a pretty simple wobbly oval.
Yeah, I got kicked out. Go away, I'm a tourist.
For those who don't know about Grusk, there's, I think, is it 3 of them or 4 of these things that I have? I think there's 4 trolley systems that circle small areas, and you can jump on, and it just takes you around at a reasonable but slow and comfortable pace. Just as a courtesy, it's one of the many benefits that the people living in Grusk have. They have all these automatons helping take care of the area. You see them, a lot of them sweeping and doing menial tasks, and the trolleys are also part of that basic service provided to residents and visitors. Owsley says we need a trolley bell we can ring. There's actually a little bit too much going on with the trolleys. We have to. I wasn't paying enough attention, but we always have to be careful about how much gimmickry we put in, like switches, elevators, lights, automatic things that turn on and off. All these little things sort of add up and then sort of slow the scene down for some players. So I actually had to pull out a bunch of stuff before it even went to QA, because I had loaded up a little bit too much. I think the little bell would go into the little too much category. Flush toilets, Hollyhawk says. We do have toilets in here. I'd like to think I'm getting famous for adding toilets into our game. The kobolds, they might be rough around the edges and talk down to humans a lot, but they know how to build stuff, and they definitely have like a solid sewer system, I guess, because they have public toilets in several spots in the Grusk town, and actually also in the Grusk factory. Any word on Cobalt toilets in the Vault store? You know where that we are? We know players keep asking for that. I don't really know what
Hmm.
the status is.
Yeah, I believe that we're going to have an announcement for that next week. Cobalt
Humanity of store
toilets
says
and a bunch
all
of
the
stuff.
creatures in the game talk down to humans. Uh, yeah, I guess so. Uh, the satyrs for sure have a similar to Cobalt attitude. You know, we're better than you kind of attitude. They call all humans like small and bug and all that. Uh, the kobolds, they talk about being strong and how they have honor and humans don't, and how they built things that humans couldn't. You know, so they actually have like an objective proof to compare to the basic human society in the game. I guess fawns don't really talk down about anyone, talk down about themselves. Uh, Elves, depending upon the group of elves you run into, I guess the Virtus elves, the peaceful elves, you know, they see themselves on par with humans, so they don't really talk down to you. But then you'll get the elves who are a little bit full of themselves, and then continue on the scale toward like your bad guy, your obsidian elves, and they just like talk down to you in that because you don't follow the obsidian eye. So yeah,
I've talked to a few of the fawns that defend the satyrs.
yeah, it's sort of a weird symbiotic
Yeah, yeah.
relationship.
Or Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I see something. Oh, is it walls like the kobolds have in the store? So, actually, I guess we should probably make a note of that one and check into it.
Walls
Uh,
like which kobolds? Like these ones here, in the ones that surround Grusk.
yeah, like this type of stuff, guys. Mean the stockade fence?
So these are based on I cheated. They are the Viking walls, the nicer of the Viking palisade walls, recolored, uh, and I also had to sort of cover up and block a couple of things because they were too Vikingish still. Ellie Moop says, "I thought there already was a set of metal cobalt walls.
Yeah, I think there
Uh,
are,
there
but
are
they're more thinly spiked, right?
yeah. If you go back to the factory, then you can see them. I don't know. Oh, actually, if you go to any one of the buildings in the along the road, cobalt buildings,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
I have a piece of it. Or actually, keep going along the road.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the fork in the road and make a left toward the hill.
Right. Go up the
Toward
hill.
the hill. And then so if you stop right here, and if you look on the left and the right, there are these big thick walls. I forgot what we would call them. These are like
Reta-
retainer wall
yeah,
things,
retaining walls. Yeah.
and that's specifically for kobolds. Uh, I think we do use them in other kobold areas though, because they're metal, and kobolds like to use things that are made of metal. And then if you go continue on the path up that hill,
Okay.
and then go to I don't know if you know which is which, but if you go to the building coming up on the right, which is the prison or the jail cell, so you can see on the walls, on the base of the walls, the outside, there's like a certain texture of wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually you know we have like a regular sort of like a dungeon wall with this sort of like metal
Cap.
wall piece. Actually, you can see it to the left sticking out. There's part of one sticking out, so that's considered a kobold wall. So, but we don't have like a
Right.
whole wall
Right.
system, and I don't know if the shorter kobold walls are in the store or anything.
Right. So one of the things that I almost got run over. So one of the things that I wanted to mention there with regards to the store is that going to be going through the store and adding a bunch of stuff into it. And I believe that we have some at least one new pet that's going to go into the store in release 103. And again, we'll announce all that next week as we lead into 103. Get the release done and make sure everything's in place. And here comes Mr. Atos. Greetings.
I'm a busy guy.
Yes, you are. Well, we have not too much. We stretched. We talked about a whole bunch of different stuff. I mentioned that you were going to come on and talk about what we've been doing with 2021, and that we just finally got the QA server back to 2018 and acting normal again. So,
let's say that the QA server has been unforked since my daughter is in the other room. It's kind of forking. Kind of a way of forking. It's more branching, but forking's close.
Yes.
But yeah, and sorry, I'm on today, and I had stuff run late in a previous meeting, but I'm on today because I'm out next week. Because, come here, little monkey. You can get on this string. These guys want to see you. Your hair is horrible.
I know.
I'm taking this one to do some stuff. Oh, and I won't be able to get on next week.
Yeah, because we're going to campus.
Don't tell people, you ruin our secrets. But anyways, the stuff I was going to tell you on 2021. So we have 2021 working locally. We have everything seems to be pretty darn good. I didn't catch anything major in the builds we did. The last thing that came up as fairly broken is we've got a couple things. One is we've got one shader that's causing some problems that we know how to upgrade it now. We just didn't, we thought it was too close to time and we're already running behind and losing a lot of time. Doing anything in that whole scheme of trying to move between projects is, you know, a day to try a new thing because you end up having to like re-import a ton of assets and do a build which is hours on itself, and then you get to see what happened. But the last really big breaker was something is broken in our build process. We can do builds through a manual build, but when we do a build with the build process and the new stuff, we're getting, what were they, 40 gigs, 42 gig?
Yeah, about 42.
42 gig builds, which is also causing us to lose a ton of time too, because then it's like, hey, it looks like everything on our build stuff is broken. Why is that? Oh, look, it added another 200 gigs of data to the server and filled up the hard drives, and now everything's gone to poop.
Yeah.
But everything seemed to be pretty good. I'm actually going to try to crank out for the next release. At least maybe I'll do it the weekend, like the week after I come back from release when I know we're not going to have too many patches. I will probably try to crank out a new build that I do by hand and just share like through, like throw it up on a CDN or something so I can share a link with it, or maybe even just on Dropbox, so some people can try out a build, because hopefully we will get it done. We'll get the actual move done next time. We can get you guys actually playing on the new build, on 2021 build now, just building you a hand-built one rather than going through all the patching stuff. So
Yeah.
for those who really want to try it out and see what the issues are going, what issues might be coming up, I'm sure you guys will catch more than we're going to. And I'd really rather do that because we, before we go through that whole nightmare of, you know, rolling forward and rolling back, which was days of work each way, I'd rather have a bigger test not than just us testing it and running around to a bunch of maps. I don't think there was any big blockers that we saw, except for our final thing was the build process and the one broken terrain shader that we think we know how to fix it. So. But I'll get you guys a build. You can test it before we try moving to it this next time around. That'll probably be on July, I think, 6th. That's probably the earliest I can get you guys a build. There you have it for me. We're going to get you a build. Maybe I can do it for this release for the initial patch. It's just kind of pointless because we do a patch and then all of a sudden, it's already broken 5 minutes later because we do our day 1 patch.
Yeah.
And we do second day, day 2 patch or whatever.
Right. So basically we'll have an in parallel thing going on, July, and then the end of July was at release 104. We'll still be on 2018, and then maybe we could target release 105 for getting 2021 live.
Yeah. but we'll get plenty of testing on from you guys, and you guys can try it out to see what you think about it. My initial reaction was I didn't do a full performance test. It's tough to get an equivalent performance test, but it seemed to be pretty good performance. I think we lost a little bit of frame rate, but I didn't see any crashes, although I never see crashes. The crashing thing you guys see is kind of random, and some people see it, some do not. The frame rate seemed to be, again, just a little bit lower, but I think there was, in my belief was there was less hitching. If we believe what Unity tells us, then we're also going to see they fixed the crash that we've identified that some of you guys see, that's a race condition and asset loading. So in theory, people who used to crash a lot may not crash at all now. We'll see. I think one scary thing I saw, which I need to do more checking in on to see what was going on, was the memory footprint seemed to grow faster. And that's saying something, because we didn't have a small memory footprint on 2018. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Yeah, and in some cases, I think that there were some FPS increases on some scenes. So it depends on what's going on as well. So, and of course, once we do this, then we'll get once we get it live and moving forward, we'll get our handle on some of the optimizations and things that, as we make new things, we'll find better ways of doing it and see if that improves, and then we could maybe backfill some of that stuff to improve the older things too.
Yeah, I've been scouting all the things we need to really take a serious look at for improving things, and some of them are for the Unity guys out there, like addressables is one of the ones that we could pretty easily start swapping things over to, that would save us a ton of pain. And maybe eventually get us one step closer to our dream patching situation where we don't really have a patch. You guys just, as you play, whatever you need gets downloaded as you need it. We'll see. Nothing else that should improve load times and have some performance benefits.
Sounds good. So that's basically what we've been doing for the most of the month, and last month actually. We were getting this and stuff. So like I said, it took us a few days to well, geez, what was it, like 4 or 5 days really to get QA back to 2018, and really it was overnight last night that we finally got the last 2 glitchy things sorted out. But actually, now we know exactly what we need to do to fix that going forward as well, because of course we'll be still putting QA on 2021 again next month. So, but we'll be able to go back and forth a little bit easier now that we know what we have to watch out for.
Owsley said he crashes all the time in the Rise. Yeah, that's one of the ones I've heard. And again, it all just comes down to these weird timing load issues, and how many cores you have matters, and how how it loads matters, like whether you're coming off an SSD drive or platter drive. Oh, bless you if you're still playing our game on a platter drive. You're poor people.
Yeah. Sounds good. So next week you'll be out. We'll still have the release stream, guys. And I'll be on there, and I could put Keith into a half Nelson, ask him to come along again, and some elder folks from the team. And next week we'll be going into the details about what we're going to do during July for Lord British's birthday, and apart from mentioning it now, we'll go and give more details about what we're looking to do. Again, from the beginning of the stream, if there are any players out there, you got guilds or POTs, and you want to do some kind of an event, reach out to me through the forums in the PM or through support, the support email address, and that'll get forwarded over to me, and I could help coordinate with you on that. So we're not going to drive your events for the player events, because we're going to have our own events during July. But what we want to do is, the main thing here is we want to make sure we don't step on one another. We don't want to take away the, how they call that, steal the thunder from a player's event and have a dev event running at the same time. So we'll try to cycle through those things and make sure that we could all get our event time and have players be able to enjoy everything that's going on. This will be throughout the whole month of July. So again, if anybody wants to do events, just reach out, and so that way we know what's happening. We can make you make sure you're on the calendar. Make sure everybody knows the events going on there as we do our streams. During July, we will be streaming every weekend. So every Friday, at minimum every Friday, we'll have a stream going on.
Did you tell them I ran into a copperhead snake?
No, I did not. I didn't
I
know.
was trying to figure out why Hollyhock was talking about a copperhead snake tamer. Oh, maybe they're Facebook friends with me. That may be it. I just saw someone mentioning copperhead snake tamer, which I posted. I was out hiking and ran into a copperhead snake. Maxine, you can't be on camera. Your hair looks like horrible. Just nightmares. Your mom is going to kill me.
Snake boots in the
I
Kodo
don't
store.
know how to brush my own hair.
Don't tell people that.
So we do have some new stuff coming into the store actually this month. There's going to be a pet. Again, we'll go into greater detail next week. There's some stuff that we're looking to do. Need to see what we could do about solidifying at least one of those two things before next week, so it gets into R103. If not, it'll be an R104. But we have some things that are going to be announced next week on Friday that I think everybody will be happy with. So I can't go into too much detail about that because I want to make sure it's going to happen and not make promises that can't occur.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to read back on chat, but it only lets me see back as far as when I logged on, so I can't. I was hoping I'd see some questions I could answer.
Gotcha. Well, we can always dip into the Ask a Dev channel there.
I can jump over there.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, I'm going to
Document.
go run some prizings here. Get that going.
Doot.
There we are.
I see someone requesting freshwater stingray. I'm guessing that's in response to the new world's largest freshwater fish that was caught. 600-pound freshwater stingray that was caught.
Yeah, I think there was a request for that. Maybe one. Okay, listen.
All right, hold on. I'm still catching up on the other stuff. Hold on.
Take your time. Let's see what I got.
So how does one ask in the Ask a Dev?
I don't know. I think it's just magic. People think about stuff and it shows up here.
Yeah.
So what you want to do, if you want to do an Ask a Dev, and again, in the beginning of the stream, I was talking about different aspects on how you can ask us questions or get bug reports to us and things along those lines. The Ask a Dev is a trigger that we put into the universal chat. So in the game, you can have a local chat for the immediate area around you, zone chat for the entire scene that you're in, or you could go universal, so it's /u to get into universal chat, or have a tab dedicated to it, and then you'll be talking to everybody in the game who is also watching universal chat. From there, you could type in Ask a Dev, ASKADEV as one word, space, and then ask your question. And it will send that question over to us in our internal chat program that we have, and log it. And then there are definitely very active discussions that occur on a daily basis amongst the team on the Ask a Devs that are asked.
Please don't submit bug reports using Ask a Dev.
Yes, definitely not.
The best place to submit a bug report is on our bug forums. There's a couple other spots that we'll allow for, but really, this is not meant for bugs.
Yeah.
Did you give them an update on the mail server thing?
Oh, actually, no, you're right. I didn't even mention it. So we over the last, I guess, basically 24 hours or so, maybe a little bit longer, we had a slowdown on the mail, and messages were still coming through, but they were coming through very sporadically and slow. We resolved that problem. The server's back to normal right now, and uh, going forward, we should be okay. So there was just a problem on the mail server with some disk space stuff that had to be cleaned up. So it's all been sorted.
Yeah, sometimes we talk about stuff that we have like a a love-hate relationship with it. Our email server, I think, falls into the hate relationship. We both fear the day that the email server dies and also hope that the email server dies so that we actually have to get off our butts and fix it, because it's one of these, trying to think how old that is. It's got to be at least a 15-year-old machine, but it's like an old Dell tower box. I mean, it's a server like with redundant power supplies and everything on that says everything's great. So it'll probably live for like 100 years or something, or be like one of those fax computers at universities where people don't even know where it lives, and find out that it was like walled into a wall somewhere, and there's just like a power cord coming out or a network cord coming out, and no one knows how to get to it. But anyways, the server got into basically a death spiral where it got close to full-on disk space, and it started warning and filling up log stuff, which, guess what? If you're out of disk space, writing a bunch of logs isn't what you want to do. But anyways, it went to this, it went into kind of a nasty spiral where it really got sporadic. There's a chance we lost some emails. We don't think we did, but we have some hints that we might have. I don't see any gaps in my email history, but if you did send something in on support and you haven't had a response like in the next 72 hours, maybe by Monday, then probably think about sending it again. We're not trying to ignore you. We have a few clunky things around here. That's one of them. And we pray for it to die. But of course, when it dies, it'll be like, oh crap, we gotta switch over to use a hosted Gmail or something.
Yep. Which there are other things that we're working on, like the support email being changed to support at shroudoftheavatar.com.
Yeah.
And that's going to require us to get into that server and make changes, which of course is good and bad, because we might actually trigger that death spiral and then have to actually replace it. So we'll see what happens there. All sorts of fun. Okay.
Let's see. I'm still looking back through the questions. It looks like you guys have already hit a lot of these.
Yeah, lots of conversations.
Have you guys added the new D20, or is that on our list yet? If we got a D20 and a D8 furniture, that might be a little too immersion breaking for some people.
Yeah, I saw that one.
That was people were requesting giant D20 and D8 pieces of furniture. So
yeah, not quite in our motif.
Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, this is
Added pig. A lot of complaints. I see why Sannio, you were saying to not put bug reports here.
Yeah, it's
that is my fault, by the way, because I'm pretty sure I pointed out, like on the streams, doing my usual just saying what comes to my brain thing, that Star glares at me when I would do such a thing. Is I was just like, yeah, and you can put whatever up there, and it definitely gets visibility if you have a major complaint.
The problem is we have a bunch of different ways where you can contact us. Each one sort of has its own little theme and specialty. If every one of those methods becomes equally every other method, then it's just too broad.
Yeah.
And then people are sending the same message through all the different avenues.
Yeah, a lot of duplication. Yes.
So the best way for bugs, stay on the bug forums. Ask a dev is if you want to ask a question that we might be able to answer on one of these streams, that's a great place for that. Obviously, if you need help directly in a support kind of way, you want to contact the support email that Steven just mentioned. And there's other ways. You just sort of want to like throw up a little wish list item or chat with other players. The forums in general are good for that. We have the Discord if you want sort of like immediate communication with other players, and chat with them on there.
I see Z, this was 2 weeks ago, I think, but I see Z requesting the VR code. I actually still have the VR changes, and I've actually unshelved them recently to see that they don't break anything. It's super clunky, which I think it'll get more bug reports than anything, but maybe since I'm going to hand roll a build for the 2021, maybe I can turn on VR if you have a VR headset hooked up. I can try unrolling that and pass that off to you guys to see what you think.
That sounds like it's an interesting thing to do.
Grusk.
Grusk in the evening.
Bird dance.
I'm working on some loading screen backgrounds as well.
I've added a couple of loading tips that'll be in with the next release. Nothing too great. One thing, the last one I added was probably one that should have been in there super long time ago, which is if you think an NPC can like give you a quest or advance your quest and you're not really sure what keyword to use, just try help. Help is like a great sort of catch-all keyword for quest advancement. So I put that in there. It's also in the player guide now too, or it will be with the next release. There's a little tip, a little helpful tip.
Let's see. Just because I posted something, I had someone mention it to me. Social media is probably one of the places we sucked a little more at recently. I have been trying to post stuff when anything comes up to Twitter or when we get information. I just haven't been posting as much update stuff. I meant to make a big post on it for updating on 2021, but Facebook is one of those places that we haven't like really abandoned it. We haven't been posting our full content to it. We do all the big updates. I think that's something we're going to try to get into a habit of doing more. But also, if you have stuff like you want to have your town stuff, promoted or whatever, you have openings in your town, you want to post a cool picture of your town and tag us, I'll gladly share those things on Facebook if you're trying to find people to fill out spots in your town. I did that earlier this week, just happened to get show up on my personal Facebook feed, and I posted it. But feel free if you want to post stuff and want to post a picture of your town and let people know you're looking for citizens, just let us know.
Yeah, we've been recently starting to update Steam again and get more detail in there. There's a lot of stuff to touch, a lot of work to do.
Really? I had no idea. Let's see. And yes, Father's Day weekend is coming up as I see the request for Father's Day double XP turning on.
Father's Day was last weekend.
God, was it?
Yes.
Oh, you know what it was? Because
Yeah.
we had tacos. I was thinking that was this weekend coming up. Did I mention that I'm like crazy busy all the time?
Yeah, actually, you bring up a good point. Is that we haven't had any sales in June. Basically, we're preparing for July, so there's going to be announcements and everything during next week's stream as to what's going to happen during July. As I said already, we'll be very active. We'll have actual live streams going on every Friday at minimum. Might have some over the weekends as well, depending on the day, which weekend it is, and what events we might be putting out there. So I'm going to try to get a schedule up there, post it in the forums, maybe even get it on the website as to what we're going to do. Encouraging players to have their events as well, and that's why we want to have players coordinate with us, so that way we don't step on their events. But there will be sales and all sorts of neat stuff going on in the store as well on the website.
Yeah, and just on the sales stuff, the not having the sale, that's one of those things too. Just like there's some double XP fatigue type stuff going on. That's one of the things we acknowledge. We're trying to make it more of a special thing. It felt like we were having a sale, like, you know, every other week we were on sale, just kind of like double experience. So trying to consciously plan more, set up a calendar, and make it not as often so it does feel more special. Double drop rates. See, you want me to zoom back out more? And present my beautiful fish here. Fish. There's new fish in that tank, actually. For the first time in like 2 years, I have new fish in that tank.
I was just about to ask, has there been any changes to your fish population?
The fish population has not gone down. There's actually, in that tank, there's 2 new bichers. Bichers, I don't know whether bichers, bichers are they're the hot dog looking fish. And for those who haven't seen this before, this is actually like a fish that's like the size of my hand. It's a big tank and there are big fish in there. Oh, now you're gonna come back? Oh, hey, Mark. All the fish have names. Mark and Minnie. Dojo loaches don't have names. They're just nuts. Oh.
All right. Well, we have
right.
we have some prizes here to give out.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting on here. I didn't even have time for lunch today, so I need food.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry myself. All right. So, Chris, do you want to read off a prize or a player?
I will read off the prizes. Am I going to do the prizes or am I going to butcher the names? Who gets to butcher the names?
I'll butcher the names this time.
All right, then we will start off with a vase of pink stargazer lilies.
And that goes to Belladonna Rose and Ariel.
And next up, we have a small longboat dry dock decoration.
That'll go to Vulcan Jedi and Keyman.
And next up, freestanding pirate banner.
That's for Submarine Mike and Pop Lancermane.
And then we have a sunflower flower bed.
And that goes to Ukulele and Coswell Dirthmeyer.
And last but not least, I think the boat would be my favorite out of those. The brown tricorn hat.
And that'll go to B Striker and Reprobate.
All right.
Yeah, did pretty good with
Is it
names,
time
too.
for me to eat? Do I get to eat finally?
Yes, I think you get to eat. So actually, you know what? You got to find us somebody to raid, and then you could go.
All right, that's my job. I can do that. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Well, let me check.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'll just say, so thank you everybody for hanging out with us on the stream this week. And next week will be release 103. That will be the official release stream still. Although we will be sans Chris, because he'll be away doing something with the family.
I might be able to call in. I'm just not sure what the cell reception is going to look like. If I can call in, I'll at least call in.
Oh, there you go.
Unless I'm like being attacked by a bear or something like that. So we got a couple people there, but we got one of them's a be right back. So we are going with Coswald. Because the others are not online at the moment. I'm sure they're going to be right back. Right Plan will be right back. Let's do Coswald _ Dirthmeyer. Never heard of him.
See if I can do this properly. All right. Hopefully that is correct. Okie dokie. So, with all that said, thanks again, and we will be back next Friday at the normal time, 4 p.m. And at that point, we'll be able to give you all the great stuff that I've been hinting at today that I just refuse to give you the details for. So, sorry. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. All right?
And then Right Plan came back just now. All right.
That's
Let's
funny.
go with Coswall.
All right,
But
everybody wave.
you guys can go check out Right Plan if you want to. He looks like a good streamer.
All right, have fun, guys. See you
Oh,
later.
it's Jim Star. I know Right Plan. See ya.
Bye.